up, y'all? What's up, Black family? It's Michael, Super Mike. Just driving home, got some thoughts. I just wanted to get off just a few little points. I think I want to focus on this short conversation. I'm just thinking about some of the stuff that we as Black folks, we feel that's very important, which are important. The groups that we get in, people have their factions, the ADOS, which according to the definition of that, I'm a part of that. On both sides of my family, deep. And, we have our African brothers, our people who was ADOS in Caribbean, ADOS in South America, and many places. But I just kind of want to give us a look, just kind of expand us into looking at patterns. And sometimes when you're inside of a pattern, it's real hard to see that pattern. But if somebody took a graph, for example, if you look at your mortgage payment, let's say you paid your whole house off, and it took you 30 years to pay that house off. And someone just pulled up a graph of your 30 years of your payments, all your payment history. During that, that graph gets pulled up pretty quick, but because you had to live each year of those 30 years, each month of those 12 times 30, which is 360 months of payments, you could probably remember the different situations that you may see on that graph. So with us as a population, as a human population, we got global and we got national, and then we have individual, and then family as well. We are moving towards something. We are moving towards something. So what is it that we're moving towards? And when I say this, only God knows. We can predict it, but God knows. It's just like, so, and what I mean by that is when you go for understanding, when you try to focus yourself on understanding and getting a little bit beyond emotional situations, personal emotion, then you kind of, you understand when to fight, but sometimes you don't hold it against someone else because they had to compete against you. Because right now, as a Black family in America, we're focused on our reparations. And, that is going to be, even once we get the first wave of reparations, it's not it. Reparations is repair. So this means we never going to stop, but we have to become a full nation. And when I say nation, that means we are independent. That's where we move into. Black America. Right at this moment that I'm speaking, we don't have a claim, a national claim. We don't have sovereign rights. We don't have a territory that we identify as ours. So these are the moves that we're needing to make. So what we're doing, the pressures that we're getting hit with are actually pushing us in that direction. And if you on an ant level, you're looking at these things as things that you may not want to go through, but you want to stop. But actually, these are things that we have to go through as a group. For example, the Mexican, what we think is an invasion, or the immigrant invasion, I'd say south of the border, even the African immigrants. This is something that Black America, we need. We need that. We need a Donald Trump. These are things that we really don't want to need, but we do need it. Now, we need to fight against it, but the fight in it of itself, that is going to produce in us, in order to fight and survive, you have to develop your power. And you can't fight alone. So you got to develop allies and alliances. So this is how you build your power. So this is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes we overestimate things. And really, I'm pretty sure once this is all said and done, what we think, I don't subscribe really to John Henry Clark. Sorry, some of y'all. He, of course, is a brilliant historian, so I subscribe to all factual and truth that he brought forth. But he dropped in some poison on our black family, in my opinion, because he caused us to. But this is something that we have to battle against. But those sparks, we're going to have to. It created a little bit of division in us. First of all, he told us we have no friends. What is he describing as a friend? Because I think we may have some friends, and if we don't have, so I would need to know what he defines as a friend, because we might not be friends of ourselves yet. So we have to develop ourselves so that we can appreciate a friend. Nobody's going to do anything for us, nor do we want them to do anything for us. We shouldn't want them. Some of us do want them to do stuff for us. We beg at this point in time. People, you should not want these schools, for example, schooling. No free people is going to allow another group to educate their own children. But at this moment, we are protesting. We want them to provide education for us. That's part of some people's reparations. No, give us the money and resources, and we'll provide the education for ourselves. And if you don't give us the money and resources, we are steadily making moves to take those monies and resources with the opportunities that we have collectively. And true enough, it may take a longer period of time for us to take it, but what we got but time. So, I'm looking at Donald Trump. People, we don't like Donald Trump. Now, I hate Donald Trump actually, but the thing is, he's something that we need to fight against. If you look at Barack Obama, he's like a sedative. He was like a sedative to our community. We would not fight Barack Obama. And we became weaker. And they destroyed us. They started murdering us. Flint took place. A lot of stuff. More is taking place now. But at least we're fighting. And we're building power. So, Donald Trump, if we don't force a true reparations candidate, which I believe at this time would be best as the Marianne Williams person, but if she doesn't get in, it's no big deal. We're going to have Donald Trump again, because we need an ass whooping more. And sometimes you do need an ass whooping, in which And you may not deserve it, but you need it because you got to learn how to fight. Defenses. And the people who need to learn how to fight more, I would call, who are natural leaders, are the more educated type of people. Because these are the people that are routinely used to deceive everyone else. Because these are the people who appear the most successful to the black people. And so they are naturally a leadership group or section of our community. I mean, they may not be appointed leaders, but they're just people. They're a group of people who have the drive to get an education, to try to make the best of their life. And so these kind of people they just end up being leaders. And if these people don't get radical and listen to Minister Farrakhan or, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or somebody who's going to get you some truth, that you're going to go towards some independence for yourself, then these folks here, they need some. If they want to keep voting, you're giving away all your ruling capacity. I mean, we can vote, but we vote to increase our capacity to rule ourselves. We want control. Okay, that should be the bottom line. You gotta have control. And so when I'm looking at, and I'm just gonna go through this quickly, all of the perceived oppositions, which are opposition, the Mexican situation or the immigrants, they are not a true enemy of Black America. But some of them just, they've been turned into an enemy of us because, they're just picking up money that we won't pick up. Because they are people who still understand how to operate in unity and group operations. And we are people who depend on the government, white society. We beg and protest for white society to solve our problems, when we more than easily can solve our own problems, but we have some mental blocks right now. And so this generation who has all these mental blocks, it's going to take a while before a new generation grows up that has less of that. You see? And so that is what we're dealing with, and this is where we're moving towards, because our solutions are readily available, but we are not in the condition mentally to take advantage of those opportunities and those solutions. And so this is why we have this frustration. And we are moving toward that, but this is what we're dealing with. So right now the current thing is reparations. The white people are getting mad because they're dying off. When we sitting up here still trying to beg them for stuff, in their minds we begging them, even though they owe us money. But from their perspective, we look like begging, whatever. So, we need to just, keep our focus, keep our battles up, but we need to be calculated. You need to be building the wealth of your personal family line, because the people who are going to run this, what is left over, are the people who have the skills to manage resources and the wisdom, who are not thieves. Because once you learn how to manage, you teach your family how to manage resources, they're going to be trusted, because that's how it goes with human beings. That's how it goes. And they're going to create the systems, the rules, all of those things that we have to create for ourselves. And we're going to have the enemies are still going to be there to try to sabotage us, but we got to be able to defend ourselves. And so that's kind of what I got right now. Black family, what's up? Peace. And just keep fighting, but fight smart. Educate yourself. Don't be so quick to just jump off and go off on people just because they're different. Because these groups right now, they're competing with us for resources. So we do rightfully have to compete for them. Like right now, the Mexicans, okay? You know, we give them the Southwest, but our territory is the Southeast and some of those Midwestern parts. That's what the black folks, we getting at. And that is our focus. We've been given the directive to take that. And that will take, that's what we call 50-year, 60, 80-year plans. But that is where we're moving to. So, you know, some of them will be there, but we have to control that area. And they, you know, with LULAC and all that, they already pretty much got their control. They got a whole country. Mexico, they pretty much got California. So, you know, we have to defend. I mean, I know there's many of them that want the whole thing, but, you know, we have to defend our spot. And, but this is a group of people that they're not like white people. Once we get defense of our territory, that's not a people who's going to be locked in a forever war with you. And that's the key. White people are locked in a forever, eternal war to the genocidal death with black society. White people, white society, it doesn't matter what your white friend says. He doesn't make this decision. White society has declared an eternal war against. They will not live in harmony with us. They will not. Look at South Africa. Look at Australia. Look at the United States. Look, they will not do it. They will not. If they are weak and they can't take you over, they will wait. They will behave for a period until they're able to make another move to kill you. And you're going to always have that pressure. And that's fine. But we need to know that. And we need to make sure our children know that so that we will not lack once we get the upper hand again, which we are in process of getting the upper hand, because nature is destroying this enemy for us. You know, all we got to do is survive and develop ourselves. So, you know, let's just keep it focused, understand the cycles of history, and, you know, just go for black power, real power, control of your resources. That's what we want. Peace.